the industry and application of the great British Victorians. Brackley Viaduct, 75 feet high, 750 feet long, has stood astride the River Ouse for 80 years. Its 22 heavy arches dominating the shallow valley in which Brackley sits. But no more. Within a few noisy and inglorious moments, Brackley Viaduct will be transformed back into the stone dust and rubble from which it grew. It's not a listed building, not an object of Betchamanic delight, so who cares? Well, Mr. Baldock does for one. He cared enough to write us a letter.
All Brackleyans curse the day that Beeching deprived us of our railway and sowed the seeds of the coming vandalism to railway architectural history. The attached cutting from a local paper shows there is not much time. Yours faithfully, K.F. Baldock.
Oh yes, Mr. Baldock cares about all those towering blue bricks. And Mrs. Gopton cares too. She lives in one of the houses those bricks tower over.
It was one thing that we liked very much when we came down to look at the ground before the house was built, and we just looked across the road and saw the viaduct and decided this was the house for us. And we do care about it. I enjoy looking out of the windows at it and watching the sunrise, and I'll be very disappointed when it has to come down.
Mrs. Gopton cares about the viaduct and about her attractive little house. But just the other side of the viaduct there are a load of attractive big houses which form the distinctly select village of Turweston, a community that's remained select and separate from the Brackley sprawl, largely because of the natural barrier that the viaduct represents. On the edge of Turweston, standing in the front line to repel the imagined invasion, the last resident before no man's land is Dr. Holman. He cares.
We've lived here for 20 years, very nearly, and we've lived with it and we love it. And it's part of our landscape, really, and it's our natural barrier between Brackley, where I work, and the industrial estate, such as it is, and this part of Buckinghamshire, which is beautiful. And we'd hate to see it destroyed. And we fear that when that goes, that we shall have to lose that physical and psychological barrier which between us and the expanding Brackley, which we love very much, and which the village of Tweston loves very much. And they make a difference to us in many ways.
Perhaps the man who cares most of all is Mr. Hind. He bought the viaduct and 9 miles of long, thin, straight land which streams away from it. He cared to the tune of about £15,000. Indeed, the economics of his cares are bizarre. Having bought it, he'll destroy it, and that'll cost him a further £15,000. So why? What will he get out of it? He'll get these blue engineering bricks, literally millions of them. You can't buy them like this anymore, so their second-hand value is high, somewhere between £60 and £200 a thousand. And in between the bricks there's hardcore, thousands of tons of it. And it hasn't escaped Mr. Hind's notice that Brackley needs a bypass, and Brackley's going to get it soon. And it will run very near the line of his viaduct, or as it will then be, his giant pile of rubble. Oh yes, Mr. Hind cares all right.
If we break even on the viaduct, we shall be quite content. We don't expect to do much better than that.
You're breaking it up. Are you impressed with the way it was built?
Oh yes, absolutely out of this world. The more we see of it, and as we start digging into it, of course, we see bits that aren't seen previously. The engineering is absolutely fantastic, considering that they had no real equipment to build it with. It's first class. Very good.
And the bridge that they worked upon stands empty now. Its day is gone, century of blackened smoke and stone. And the line that was Watkins' dream, grand folly of the days of steam, seems just to wait above. Unlovely, not unloved, stands not forgotten, but alone.
The man who's going to knock it down is a different kind of worker. He doesn't sing a lot of songs. You wouldn't be able to make out the words. No, Mr. Watson lives in an altogether more practical world.
Blowing tree roots, because I used to have connections in the timber business. Tree roots, and once people know you can do that, they say, can you blow this bit of stone that's sticking out where I'm trying to dig a hole? And so it goes on, and things grow. But this is the biggest yet. In fact, it's the one that either make me famous, or else I'll finish up in bloody jail, won't I? Oh yeah, this is the big one. These people all got confidence in me. Got to see it right, haven't I?
And you've got confidence in yourself?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Have you got your fingers crossed in your pocket there?
No. No, I know that it will come.
Unlovely she may be, but unloved? Certainly not. So for all of you who ever cared about a big, heavy chunk of Victorian archaeology, 22 hand-built spans that carried the steam-driven power of the Industrial Revolution, take a last look at this site.